Hi everyone, welcome to Lunchtime Beauty Break with Jillian. I'm Jillian. I am here at the beautifulself.org offices. Please check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Also, you can follow me on Jillian V. Rezo Artistry on Instagram. And today we're gonna have a lot of fun because I wanna talk to you about how to get that really beautiful, blown out celebrity skin without looking crazy, overdone, or cakey, or older, quite frankly. And you'll notice with my makeup, with my makeup, I have on my nighttime eyes, I have on my my lips are always like nude, so they're not really my nighttime lips, but I have on my really soft lip, my eyes, my brows are extra heavy, I have on my nighttime outfit, but what's missing is my skin. I have nothing on my skin right now. So what I want to do is really give you a few techniques that are going to take you to that special photo session. Maybe it's something for your wedding. Maybe it's a black tie event. Maybe it's just cocktail hour. It's just nighttime special occasion makeup. It has to be right. Or as you see with heavy eyes, or maybe you're more of a heavy lip girl, the whole look can just go the other way and look too heavy. So the first thing you want to do is start with, and I cheated, I did put that on already, is a primer that maybe has a little bit of glow in it. So I already did that. I did the primer with glow because I don't want this look to be over glowy. The glow needs to lay on the back side of the skin, not the front side, and we're going to talk about that as I go. I also already used my Volition Eye Gel that I don't do anything without, especially when you want a makeup that's going to last a long time. That's a phenomenal eye gel to hold everything in place. So first thing we want to do, liquid foundation. Okay, I'm just going to take a little bit. Now I'm using my favorite liquid. That's the Armani Luminous Silk. You use yours. Now here's the trick. Normally for every day I would use foundation all over and as practically as my concealer. But we want to do a nighttime special occasion makeup. Notice I'm not using sponges or anything. What I want to do is I want to put that foundation where I need it. Now, I talk to you about this all the time. I'm a woman in my 50s. I'm not trying to look older. I'm not trying to look heavily overdone, but I have flaws that I would like to smooth out and make the skin look softer and prettier. So, where do you need your foundation most? Most women need it at the center of the face, right? We're not necessarily going to go heavy anywhere else. We're actually going to go softer. We're going to go softer because everything else, the eyes or perhaps the lips, are heavier. So where you need it, probably mostly down the center of the face. You can use a little bit under the eyes if you want. And that's it. So go really clean and beautiful and just use a stippling kind of effect on your foundation. Don't just drop it on a sponge and put it on all over really thick. I hate when I see that. I just think it makes everything look overdone and cakey, and we really want to move away from that. Then we want to go to concealer, okay? Thing with concealer, and I'm going to use my fingers. If you want to use a brush, but I'm going to use my fingertips. Now, during the day, most women use their concealer in that fabulous little triangle that goes from here to here, right? Well, we need to take that step a whole nother direction because we want that blown out, flawless look. So how we're going to get that is we're going to take our concealer and we want to knock out shadows. Most women get shadows right in here, this divot area. The reason we get that, why, is because the collagen and the fat in our 30s starts to decrease and it looks like we kind of have a deep mark in here. I have it on this eye, you can see it. So now I'm going to take it down the side of my nose. I'm not taking it all the way to my tip of my nose, but just down the side. Then I'm going to look in my face and say, well, where else do I need that? So you look at your face and say, where else could I use a little concealer? For me, I got a little deep line around my mouth, so I want to clean that up, and a little bit along my marionette line. Now already we are halfway to that blown out look. Look at the difference. Use a stickier concealer. Don't use a thin one. Don't use a thick one. Keep it right in the middle and one that's going to really hold to your skin. So again, keep it under the eye and bring it out. Not the normal triangle that we do for every day, which is here, but we're going to go the extra step. Okay, so I'm taking it all the way out and I'm taking it down the side of my nose here, not to the tip of my nose. Don't go to the tip. We don't want to white everything out. Center here. Up. See? In this upward motion. Down my marionette line. Tapping in. Around here. Where I get hollow. Immediately you start to get what we call, sorry, that's just a spot. I'm not putting concealer there. We start to get that more lifted, blown out Hollywood look. Now the next step is really, really important. What you want to do is you want to take a micro fine loose powder, okay? Super light, really easy. And I want you to take just a tiny little bit on a very loose brush. Yeah, it gets a little messy. It does, I'm not going to lie. I'm using the top of the cap here. Okay, a little bit. Light, light, light. Super light. We're not going to do it heavy. All over. Okay. Super light, just a very little bit. That's going to set it. But now, I love puffs. I think puffs take you back to the glamour gals of the 40s, like your Rita Hayworth, and then the 50s, your Marilyn Monroes, who their skin was so velvety and beautiful without being heavy. That's the trick. We don't want it to be heavy. I'm dipping in a little more of my really light microfine powder. I'm setting everything in. Okay? Just setting it in, pressing. So not heavy, but the skin becomes more flawless. So we pressed everything in. Now we want to do a little bit of color. So if you like blush, great. I personally like to keep for this look when I'm working on women, or if I'm working on the red carpet, or whatever I'm doing where I need to take that look up a little bit and I don't want it to be overdone, is I take a little bit of a color that's just a little bit richer than your own skin tone. Or it could be even close to your own skin tone. And to lift the face, we're not going to cut into the cheekbone. So unless you're under 30, or unless you have a really round face, we don't want to cut here and do that look. What we want to do is lift. So look at the difference. I'm going to go into the parameters. I'm going to go around the parameters. Back here, right here to the brow line. And look, it lifts immediately, and it gives me just a little bit of color because this is more evening, this is more special occasion. Notice I did not cut or contour the face. If you need to cut or contour, do it by all means. But I think when a woman gets just a little bit older, we tend to lose the volume here, so we want to lift. So it's like a little C. We're going from the end of the tail of the brow bone up and around. I'm not going to do the entire face like I would for an everyday makeup. I want to keep this very clean, very soft. Now, how do we tie this look in together? I like to take a matte highlighter. This is Laura Geller's French Vanilla. It's always been one of my favorites. I think it's phenomenal. Now you may say, well, you used a lot underneath your eyes. Not really. What I did was I took that concealer, I blew out along the nose in a big block underneath, out, and where else I needed it. I did a light microfine powder over it to set everything, and I used that Volition Eye Gel underneath everything to make sure it held really beautiful, but was super, super hydrated, because that's really important. So now I'm going to take a matte highlighter. I'm taking the French Vanilla, and you want to use a really kind of, either you can use your puff, or you want to use a more tight brush. I'm going to use a tight brush. You want to get under here, and I want to show you what this does. French Vanilla is a beautiful multitasker. All I'm doing is I'm taking the final steps to get that really beautiful, blown out Hollywood look, where you're like, I don't know how they do that. Why their skin just looks so amazing underneath and all the way back. It's because they have great makeup artists working on them. And they'll tell you. Any woman who's in front of the camera will tell you they need the light, they need the tricks. And this is such a simple, beautiful trick. So notice how I'm going underneath. So I'm getting this extra lifted and perfected look. Sorry. Here we go. And it's that simple. It may seem like a lot, but it isn't really a lot. It's basically using less foundation only where you need it. Using more concealer, but bringing it down, around, and pulling it back, and then using it in your shadow areas. It's using a micro fine powder, and then taking like an old-fashioned puff, puffing it all in so it looks nice and clean, it looks nice and set without being heavy. It's taking a color that's just a little bit richer than your own skin tone, pulling it up and back so you get an immediate facelift. We're not contouring, we're not doing heavy lines, we're lifting and we're pulling back. Then it's finishing off by taking a matte highlighter with a more stiff brush that's really, really dense, or a puff, and we're going back into really what we call blow out and set those under eyes. So it's easy, it's clean. For every day, all I want you to do is whatever you do normally. Everyday makeup is super, super clean. It's whatever you need. But this is taking it up a notch for nighttime, for special occasion. This look, I promise you, will make you look like you kind of filtered without having to put the filter on it. So I hope that helps as we kind of move into special occasion, that time of year where maybe we're going out a little bit more, or maybe you're just getting in front of the camera more. So as always, please leave your commentary. We love that. Any questions you have, we will list the product that we use. And as always, I love to share and talk to you. And I hope I see everybody soon, hopefully next week. Okay, bye.